Welcome back to Tabletop Assault. I'm Ross, and today I'm going to continue my segments and looking at the Necron Codex. Today I'm going to look at the Annihilation Barge, an interesting unit, one that I still think has a few difficulties to it, but certainly there are some interesting aspects and areas that could improve in my mind. How this works is we're going to have a look at the unit in the Codex, have a look at stats, weapons and special rules that may be on it. We're going to have a look at loadout on suggested role, how you may use the unit, along with dynasty codes and stratagem recommendations. So with that, let's have a look at the Annihilation Barge. Annihilation Barge does not have a varying stat. That's because it's really under 10 wounds. Things above 10 wounds tend to have the variable, so that keeps a consistent rate until it's dead. It is movement 12, which is ridiculously fast for a Necron unit, which is good. Weapon skill 6+, honestly not bothered because you don't expect it to be in combat. Strength 5, again not bored. Toughness 6, which is kind of low, but for Necron stuff that's kind of average, you know, when it comes to many of their vehicles, so that's okay. Wish it was toughness 7, but there you go. Wounds 8, which is a bit low, but again that's the offset for having the variable sort of amount of wounds, so it's a little bit, certainly compared to Doomsday Arc, is a lot less wounds. But with that you get consistency until it's dead. 3 attacks, again you're not bored by that. Leadership 10, but a 4+ save, which is a little bit low, but it does have protection in other areas. It is armed with a Gauss cannon and twin Tesla destructor. Now you can replace the Gauss cannon with Tesla cannon. Gauss cannon, all of them are 24 inches. Gauss cannon, heavy 3, strength 6, minus 3 AP and D3 damage, which is good. Twin Tesla destructor, 24 inches, assault 8. Strength 7, 0 AP and 1 damage, and any 6+, you cause 3 hits instead of 1. And Tesla Cannon is basically the same, it's 24 inches, assault 3, strength 6, 0 AP, 1 damage, and any hits of 6+, cause 3 hits instead of 1. It does have living metal, which is good for recovering wounds. Quantum shielding, each time model fails a saving throw, roll a d6. If the result is less than damage inflicted on the attack, the damage is ignored, e.g. if you suffer 4 damage, if you roll a 3 or less, the damage is ignored. Quantum shielding cannot prevent damage caused by mortal wounds. And of course it explodes on a 6, and everything within 3 inches suffers just 1 mortal wound. So let's speak about the Annihilation Barge. Annihilation Barge is designed to be a sort of mobile weapons platform, which I personally kind of hate. There is a few weaknesses to the unit that just simply does not make it work in my view. The two main ones are that simply do not rate the twin Tesla destructor that much, and there ain't that many things to try and buff it, compared to other units that do similar roles with Tesla. Either way, let's speak about the weapons in a bit more detail. The twin Tesla destructor, so it's okay at 8 shots. High strength seems nice, but no AP means you're not getting through armor, and 1 damage, and a chance to get more shots due to Tesla rule. So simply put, statistically you're looking at about success chance with no buffs to gain extra shots of about 1.3 extra shots. You know, 1.3, you'll definitely get probably 1/6, more or less. But with your misses as well, this still looks like an average of about 8 successful shots. Obviously there'll be times where you get loads of 6s and it'll put out a whole bunch of dice, and then there'll be some where you just don't put out any, which is pretty bad. You know, the Strength 7 is, you know, mostly going to wound infantry, which is good, but no AP and 1 damage means that it's really just not going to get through armor that successfully. Anything with a success, you know, with a good armor save is just going to ignore it, which, you know, is not ideal. Heck, on an intercessor unit, you'll probably only kill 1, maybe 2, which is not great at all. And if you're going for things like Tyrannids or Orcs, yeah, you'll kill more, but at the end of the day, you know, that's not so ideal either. You might only be killing about 4, maybe 5, which is not great. The other part is that it's only 24 inches, which is kind of average for Necrons. Overall, I don't actually rate it. Tesla Cannon, you know what, everything I just kind of said there, but strength 6 and less shots. Still not impressed, because it's not easy to get up to the 5+ to hit as it is with other units. Gauss Cannon, honestly, I wish the twin Tesla destructor was more like this. Heavy 3, which is a pain, it means you're going to hit less, but it is strength 6, which is not bad, minus 3 AP, so it's getting through the armor, and D3 damage. That's pretty good. If you're facing anything with better armor save or more wounds, this will probably do more damage than the Tesla stuff. It is still a pain that it's only 24 inches, but overall it threatens more targets more efficiently, I believe. If I was to give a quick recommendation of where I think this could improve, I think if the Annihilation Barge was similar to Doomsday Cannon or even Leman Russ, where if it doesn't move, the Twin Tesla Destructor maybe doubles the amount of shots, bringing it to 16, which may seem, a ludicrous amount, but you're giving up one of its big strengths, which is movement. But that would certainly incentivize me to put out far more shots, and then the Tesla might be more efficient. That would really make it quite good. Don't know if that makes it too good. I really don't think so. But I think even at 8 shots at the moment is still a little lackluster. Dynasty code traits, Sutek, Relentless Advance. If a unit with this code advances, it treats all ranged weapons that it's equipped with as assault weapons until the end of the turn. E.g. Rapid Fire 1 is treated as Assault Weapon 1. Heavy D6 is treated as Assault D6. In addition, unless it advances this turn, a unit with this code does not suffer the penalty for hit and moving and firing weapons. I very rarely actually recommend Sutek on a unit, mainly because, yeah, you get a bit more mobility and you ignore the heavy rule, but there's not actually that many units in Necron Codex that have heavy weapons that don't already maybe ignore the heavy rule. But this is one of them. Simply put, high mobility of this does mean you're going to be firing more reliably with the Gauss cannon, because it's a heavy weapon. Which is good, just wish it was more, more hard-hitting weapons. Maybe if it had like all heavy weapons, this would be fantastic if it did more firepower. But you can't always get what you want. At the end of the day, not bad. Mithrit, Solar Fury. Each time a model with this code shoots an enemy unit that is within half range of its weapon's maximum range, the armor penetration characteristic of the weapon is improved by 1. Again, fine, and a great help for Tesla weapons. Adding -1 to AP is a huge help. On the Gauss cannon, -4 AP may actually be a wee bit excessive, so not bad overall. It does mean you need to be within 12 inches of your target, which is not ideal, but you do have fly, so if you do get into combat, you can just fly out and shoot again. So that one I think is kind of a favourite there. Next up we have Nihilaka, which is aggressively territorial. Reroll hit rolls 1 for units with this code whenever they shoot, including when firing Overwatch, as long as they did not move in the preceding movement phase and they did not disembark from a transport this turn. A tricky one for Annihilation Barge. It does, not have it. It does not have advantage in that it does have an advantage that makes it more reliable to hit, and rerolls are not easy to get for Necrons in some extent, and for that Tesla that's going to be really, really nice. But the unit does suffer from having short range with only 24-inch weapons, and it does have high mobility because it's designed to move about in target units, so you're kind of sacrificing that. I like it, but you're giving up some of the advantages of the Annihilation Barge, making it a bit more of a disadvantage here, which is not ideal. Stratagem recommendations, Quantum Deflection. 1 command point, use a stratagem when an enemy unit targets a vehicle in your army that has quantum shielding ability, but before any hit rolls are made. Until the end of the phase, subtract 1 from rolls made for your vehicles with quantum shielding ability to see if the damage is ignored for unsaved wounds. A great ability and made so much better with this stratagem. Usually things that are maybe more important targets, such as the Doomsday Arc, may be more valid for this. But always good as a solid defense stratagem. Always good if there's no other targets that may be more viable for it. Next up we have Methodical Destruction. 2 command points. Use a stratagem after a Sutek unit from your army has inflicted an unsaved wound on an enemy unit. Add 1 to hit rolls for friendly Sutek units that are targeting the same unit this turn. A solid stratagem for 2 command points that if any other unit opens up salvo, this allows a plethora of Tesla cannons to be Tesla weapons to be far more successful. And in general, it helps cause a lot more damage on particularly scary units. There is some of you who have to, there are some units you have to pour, on wounds, and a great stratagem to do so, and it just works really, really well for the Annihilation Barge, as with many units in general. So that's kind of it for Annihilation Barge. Again, I hate to say it, a bit more of a lackluster heavy support unit. Don't worry, there is a good one coming. But it's generally kind of, there should be a little bit more benefit. I feel that the Twin Tesla Destructor is just not as advantageous. Maybe if it had the Tesla rule on a 5+, I would be really singing its praises a little bit more. But when it's only 8 shots on average, you're going to roll about 1.36s, give or take. That's not ideal, and you can't use like My Will Be Done on it because I think that's only infantry. Just makes it a bit more tricky when there's other units such as you could go with Immortals or Tomb Blades, who I think just in general do Tesla a little bit better. So thanks again for watching, guys. Please comment, share, like and subscribe. Let us know what you think of the Annihilation Barge. What would you say could help improve this unit? I'm interested to read. Check us out on social media where you can see our upcoming projects, and check us out on Patreon as well to help support the channel, bring you more content because we absolutely love doing so. So thanks again, we'll see you on our Tabletop Assault Battle Report.